but I can like talk about random shit in the meantime until Matthew joins. You're here all night. Okay, okay. Well, how was the weekend? Did you enjoy your weekend? Okay. Yeah, how was nice was the XRP call when I started mentioning it. When I was looking at this consolidation right here, that's where I went long on XRP for this final push. Now it's like pushing for $3. So if you were like holding that XRP longs from here, um, that's about like 200% return. 200%. Not you can't think about tomorrow. You have to think about the entire month when you right. But still, look, I think you need to be in AI coins, where this is one of the charts which has been really playing with me. Like it's playing tango. It's FET. That is essentially Bitcoin's chart before Bitcoin did its massive breakout. So if you were to go and look at this here, this chart pattern, the inside quarterly candle failure, is exactly this chart pattern inside quarterly candle failure. Now you see the bottom of this quarter. That is where we retested the previous quarter's low, like a nice rounded retest. What is this exactly now? That's a bullish order block. Go on the daily chart. Came down to test the 0.79 Fib, bounced. It tested the bearish order block on the daily chart. The first test was a rejection, but the rejection came down to form a higher low because the higher time frame support was kicking in, higher low in comparison to this higher low, and then it punched above, breaking this lower high, making a higher high. Now, what the market is doing right now is very, very explosive. It's making an inside double daily candle. Now, in my opinion, this thing is almost ready to start exploding to new highs. It's setting at about 1.84. It will likely go to 3.480. So from here, if you do buy it, that's roughly 90% return right up to all-time highs because that's the draw liquidity. But it's not going to stop there. That's the first target. It will likely punch to 1.618 Fib over here, which is like a $5 mark. Okay. see. Hmm. What are you doing? What up, Dave? How are you doing? I hope your crypto portfolio is treating you well. I think we positioned pretty early for the bull run. So now we just gotta sit back and reap the benefits out. And I also like call the Litecoin run up right in time. Like it still has quite a bit of distance to cover, but at least we positioned early. Your Litecoin is in breakout mode. You just gotta write it out now. You will see like very large candles happening in Litecoin when it starts breaking out, which will kind of look like this, where it's just like going up in like a straight line. And the pullbacks will be heavy because it's like a shitcoin. It's not exactly like a value token, but the market structure is really good. Like it's fantastic in terms of what the market structure is looking like. For example, this is a ABC correction right there, and we just went about the way below high. So I am thinking this is the beginning of a much bigger wave where, let's say this is the first wave, second wave, third wave, ABC is a fourth wave, and this is the fifth wave, which is going to take us to like these equal highs up top of them. And like that. So like this, where we had the first subwave, ABC correction as the second subwave. We are breaking out to start the third subwave. The third subwave is going to take us to all-time highs. Then there will be like a fourth subwave. Then there will be like a final hurrah kind of a thing for the fifth final subwave to finish the macro wave 5. I think $1,000 could be well within the reach for this final wave 5. Now, why do I know this is a final wave 5 happening? Because XRP is doing its final wave 5. XRP, XRP, XRP. Okay, good. This is classic elite wave in action, where the first wave was down here back in 2014. And then this was 1. This ABC was a 2. This entire thing was a 3. This was a 4. And we are in a fifth wave right there. Now, the fourth wave may look like that it's unfolding as a triangle, where you can mark it out like this. Something like that. It looks like a basic triangle, right? And we have such high volume, such high conviction in the breakout that that's signaling that the fifth wave is kind of unfolding, where the fifth wave is gonna go till at least $15 mark. That is still like 5 times from here. I mean, imagine people who have been like holding XRP since the top in 2018, and they make 5 times return in this pump, just because they held through the conviction that XRP is going to go to the moon at some point. It's amazing. But yeah, the basic premise doesn't change that this is a macro fifth wave playing out. And the macro fifth wave is going to be very, very strong. It's considered to be like a very strong wave. Now, the waveform may have ended over here. This was the first subwave. This was the second subwave. And we're in like a third subwave. There'll be a fourth one and a fifth one too. So it would look like this. Now, LTC is kind of the same thing because LTC is like another one of those shit coins which has been in the arena since like XRP has been in the arena. So whatever money is pumping XRP, they will shift their focus to Litecoin as well and start pumping Litecoin. Here, if you compare it, this is Coinbase. Let's look at Bitstamp for Litecoin because Litecoin has a very big history. My God. Not this one. Right, there it is. It was 2017. Hey, you're back. Welcome back. I was just explaining XRP, where XRP is in its macro fifth wave after this triangle is breaking out, and it's likely going to go to like 15 norm mark, 15 to 20 norm mark, based on the height of this triangle. And it's going to be very fast, very quick. Most people will start buying XRP when it's like sitting at $7, $10 mark, but that will be the time to like start dumping it and bring it all the way back down to like 10 cents. It's a massive Ponzi scheme, if you ask me. No, but say what? Talking about Coinbase. Oh, sorry, Litecoin. Where I was mentioning that Litecoin and Ripple, they're pretty much the same in terms of market structure. Where this top was this top right here, 2017. This top was this top right here, right? And if you notice how the breakout is happening in XRP, Litecoin will start following up with Ripple, and it should be making new highs over here, May 2021 highs. So you still have another 200%, 250% to go in Litecoin. So if you're asking me where you deploy the capital, you deploy it into Litecoin when you get the extra 5K wins. And you don't ask like extra questions on why exactly it should go or not go. I'm out of 400. I'm not going with that. But really look for the similarities in XRP and Litecoin. Like look at the cycle bottoms. 2nd of March 2020, 2nd of March 2020. This bottom, 21st, 2020, around here in October 2020. It's close, like it's a month off, but they all went kind of similar together up top over here. And then when it came down, they both came down together. The bounce which happened, similar bounce happened over here. Came down all the way here. That's the sell-off over there. XRP started accumulating. That's the accumulation happening in Litecoin. They're gonna list an ETF for everything, Dane. It's not just gonna be XRP. They will list an ETF even for meme coins. How about that? They will list a Pepe ETF. They will list like a WIF ETF. Do you know why? Like, just answer me this. Do you know why they're going to list all these ETFs? Take a guess. Like, tell me why they would list these ETFs. They will make a fuck ton of money, yeah, but how will they make the money? Well, not exactly. They will make the money through commissions. When people want to buy or sell these asset classes, they make money from commissions through fees, like yeah, what you just said. Like, what is the business of a broker? A broker is in the business not to like bet on their house. Like, they're not there to like bet on the asset. They're present to collect commission fees. Their business is volume. Like, as much volume is there to run money back and forth, they basically collect like a 0.1% out of the money which comes into like buy the orders. That's their commission fee and that's their business. They saw how much money they made through Bitcoin's IBIT ETF through commission, and that became like the highest performing ETF in history of BlackRock. Like, imagine gold or S&P 500 or Nasdaq ETF, like which are the most liquid, the most largest ETFs on the planet. They're not making as much as Bitcoin ETF made them in the first few months of trading. They're like, okay, well, if Bitcoin is making us this much money, imagine when the listing ETF for like Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, XRP, Pepe, and all those animal spirits like they start flooding into these things and they want to trade it or whatnot, like sell it, trade it, own it, toss it around or whatnot. Just do whatever you want to do, but they're gonna make money out of it because people are stupid enough to throw their money into something which is running so hard. All right, so they want to list these ETFs so they can collect as much commission as they can, and it's in their benefit to list all these ETFs. Like, it has nothing to do with the value proposition of the asset. Like, they're not sitting in these ETFs thinking that we're gonna hold them for like the longer term. They're just like listing them and throwing them out there so they can milk as much money as possible in the shorter term with this mania which is happening in the crypto land. Is that understood? Yeah. Okay. Good. So similarly, I would say Litecoin is going to have its own ETF too. They're just going to go and put an ETF out for like every crypto coin, and they will maybe deem them as a commodity, which makes them pretty feasible to be held in your portfolios through ETFs. Like gold has an ETF, right? So yeah, but I was comparing XRP with Litecoin. Like they both have identical market structure, just based on time that theory concepts that are taught. Litecoin should be going up 250%. Like imagine the future in front of you where Litecoin is just gonna go and make a new all-time high, and you're looking at this thing when it hits an all-time high, and you go back and check the price action like 2-3 months prior to it hitting the all-time high. You're like, okay, well, fuck. If I knew that XRP is hitting an all-time high, that means Litecoin is gonna do it. Why not go and take profit from that? Like that's the easiest trade you could do. It's like saying that going back into the past, you were looking at Bitcoin when it was sitting at 20K, and in the future you figured out that okay, well, at some point it's going to go to 100K. So from 20K to 100K, if I just held it, it's going to make me this much return. So if I just held it till like it hit 100K, would it not be nice to get 600% return? It's kind of like that with Litecoin. That if you can see that it's going to go up 250%, why not hold it till like it gives you the 250% return? It's just that simple. Like even the risk reward ratio is like very very nice. I don't think I've ever seen 10R risk reward ratio on like a crypto coin. Like very rarely I have seen 10-hour risk reward ratio. The last time I saw 10-hour risk reward ratio on any crypto asset, it's I think I mentioned this for Bitcoin last time when I looked at any crypto asset giving you 10-hour return. I think it was right down here, just almost down here. So when this collapse happened and Bitcoin came down over here, this was my value proposition for Bitcoin, that you basically long it over here with a stop loss below here and you run it all the way back up. This was the last time I think I took a long position, which gave me like a 10-hour risk reward ratio. After that, I have never tried to pull like a 10-hour back trade. Like this actually played out. I actually held it. If you remember back from like option traders, when you guys met me, this was what actually like got me pretty, I wouldn't say famous, but more so like on the radar, that I know what I'm talking about when I called Bitcoin's bottom and I wrote it for like a new all-time high over here from 4,700. Like I had all the screenshots with my portfolio where I executed on the position for Bitcoin, and we wrote it all the way back up to all-time high and printing 10-hour risk reward ratio on Bitcoin. Now, obviously, it didn't play out like in 1 week or 2 week or like in a month, but it went from here. How long did it take? Took right there over here. That's about 263 days. So that basically means it took about 7 to 8 months to get till there, which was a very, very lucrative trade. Like I gathered 315% run. It's the same kind of a setup which I'm presenting to you in Litecoin, where I mentioned that this is a 10-hour setup, and how much is the gain from the entry, which I mentioned, is 333%. That's pretty much like Bitcoin being run up from 4,000 or $5,000 low to $20,000 level. That's the setup I'm presenting in Litecoin in front of you right now. So yeah, I think it's well worth the risk if you want to put it in Litecoin, especially when you can see that XRP is already doing that trade setup, going for the all-time high cycle over here. It's just a matter of time before Litecoin follows and does the same thing. Like if we were positioned in XRP over here and take it all the way up, how much of a risk reward ratio is that? Let's just say from here, where the entry happened at this breakout right there at 0.66, which is 66 cents, and you're holding it till there. That's a 9.4 risk reward ratio. I'm offering the same risk reward ratio on Litecoin because when we see XRP is making new all-time high, Litecoin is going to do the same thing. It's not going to stay behind. Like they got to run everything up, which is from the legacy standpoint. Um, but I'm already in Litecoin from like lower prices when I mentioned it. It was like somewhere around 99, 98 when I mentioned Litecoin should go. I think Vince was asking me, do you not want to wait for confirmation that Litecoin should be? Hold on, where is that? Okay. Yeah, exactly right here. You were asking me if you want to wait for confirmation until it goes to like 115 and 116. I'm like, it's gonna go there regardless of whether you want to wait for confirmation or not. So you may as well like preempt your entry and take an early entry and then see it go in that direction and then give you confirmation eventually, but you have like a better entry rather than just waiting till there. And that's exactly what happened. It went till there, and now it has the confirmation on the weekly chart that it wants to go to the all-time high over here. What is Ethereum doing? Hmm, interesting. It went down a little. Teeny tiny Ethereum. Now, Ethereum is a very, very interesting chart right now. It's defending these ranges very, very cleanly. Like I drew this range out a long time ago where the November 2021 high was the range high, the June 2022 low was the range low. And I dissected the mid-range 25% of the range and 75% of the range, and then I dissected even those ranges and I created like sub-ranges on top of it. So as you can see how well it has been like defending these range levels for support resistance. They've been like ranging the entire market for the past uh, 3 years, I want to say, from here till down here, then not up till here, down here, and I think I became a buyer somewhere here when I converted back again. Now the thing is, I don't want to go back into where we could have bought or whatnot. Like I was in Bitcoin back here when this massive breakout happened. Now the key thing to realize is that just based on current price action, it can come down to test this SR level at about 25%, and that's still bullish. Like you have to stay above that, where this is now a bullish order block. So it can come back down. It can test this SR level for support, and from there it should be good to go to new highs, to this high, to this high. And if you look at the monthly candle, the monthly candle is one of the strongest monthly candles you can see, where it's very clear that the market actually wants to go up and run these highs, this high, and then this high. But the only thing is that when you print such a strong monthly candle, you just don't know what kind of a pullback you're gonna get. Especially like when you look at previous monthly candles, whenever you get like a strong monthly candle, the next one is likely gonna be bullish. It's never bearish like that. The only thing I could say is like down here, it looked like it could have been bearish. Hold on. All right, so this one, when we opened this monthly candle, how did it unfold? It went up first, ran into like a resistance, and then it basically gave like a jolt to the market, came back for a pullback. Now when the pullback was happening, I would have like longed this support zone. That would have been like a very easy long position because that's an SR level, and this is also a bullish order block. Now how long did it take to get to there? Did it do like a proper test? No. Do you need to be stubborn to wait for it to go down and do like a proper test? I don't think you should be stubborn. Like it came down, it went up, broke market structure. So if it's doing a pullback, that's a pullback you need to buy. And then eventually it went up again, broke market structure, did a pullback again. It's coming into like a bullish order block right here. Buy it again, and then you run it back up. When it takes out this lower high and this high, then it's gonna go for this high. See that? How nice was that? Now this range was drawn after the all-time high was printed, but even before the all-time high got printed, these range levels were being used as a support and resistance, right? You see that? Then finally, when this support broke, that's where things turned to shit. And that's where the market structure broke, and you should not be in the market anymore. Now, when it's coming back up, I would actually be shorting this resistance zone. Woo! You see that? How many people would have shorted that? Like shorting this resistance zone with the stop loss right above the all-time high, knowing that this order block is not going to break, taking it all the way back down. That's a 7.71 risk reward ratio. So point being that these SR levels which I've drawn out in the past, they are very, very strong, and you just gotta respect them. If the market is respecting them for resistance, then the market structure is bearish. However, if the market is respecting them for support, then the market structure is bullish. You see that? How well it's respecting on a closing basis as you're transitioning to the downside. It's all controlled by the market, like by the market makers, not by the market. So if you understand price action structure, if you understand price action analysis, then you know where the market is going to go. So currently in the market, I'm going to close this for now. Currently in the market, just currently, you are above the support zone. Okay. This is a key support zone. And this is also a weekly candle close above the SR level of 25%. Okay. And this is a 2-week candle close above the SR level. It's a 3-week candle close above the SR level. It's a monthly candle close above the SR level. So on all fronts for the algorithm, the market has been signaled that you need to keep expanding to the upside. You should not be going below the SR level. All right. So that means that the market should not be giving up this bullish order block. Okay. So if you're pulling back right now, this area at 36.23, that would be a buy, and your stop loss can go below here, and you can start targeting new all-time high or even new highs from here. New all-time high would be right there. I mean, new all-time high is kind of sitting right here, but let's just take it from like level to level, where you would be taking it till here, 41.26. All right. But based on the high time frame structure, which I just discussed on the weekly chart, the market wants to go higher. That's for sure. And if you look at this level, specifically here, going back till here, okay, I'm gonna open a new chart for that. I did this weekly analysis to explain to like newbies on how the market structure is shifting from bearish to bullish, where I described how the lower high was being created, then this low got created, and then you had the bounce, which was the last lower high. Then this bounce did not actually give us any follow through to the downside, and you made a higher low, and then you went up again, creating a new high above this lower high, creating a first potential higher high. Then the pullback which happened, it created another higher low in comparison to this higher low, and then we went up again. That's where the market structure actually shifted bullish for the first time. And it got confirmed after you took out this last lower high to make a technical higher high, where the weekly market structure shifted to the bullish side. And if you were pulling back all the way here, that was just a correction before the all-time high push. And in here on the daily chart, when this sell-off was happening, notice how the market structure shifted. This low was created, the bounce happened to create a lower high, came back down, created a higher low, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, broke out, a higher high again, came down to create a higher low. And then eventually what I was really getting into is that once you punched this higher low in the market, as in right here, when the market went up, right, by name. So when the market went up and you made a high over here, confirming that this is a higher low, this was the line in the sand for the bullish market structure, where the market has to go below this daily higher low for the market to turn bearish. So when the market was pulling back, notice how the market took out this high, made a higher high, which confirmed that this is a daily higher low. And when it's coming down like this, and it's just running these lows, it's not shifting the market structure to the bear side. Instead, what the market is doing is it's picking up sell side orders where people are trying to short on lower time frames, thinking that the market is turning bearish. It's making them believe the market is turning bearish. People start shorting, except the big players are buying it because they're only working out of the daily chart. And that's where you gotta turn the weekly open to. And you can see that the red level which I've drawn out, it's acting as a pivot where it was acting as support initially when the market was coming down. And then when it finally went below it, it acted as resistance. So when it reclaimed the weekly open, after taking out these daily lows, that's where the local market structure was shifting bullish. And that's where you got to turn bullish in the market. And the moment the market went up like this, I took this long position. And I not only was targeting this high, but I was actually targeting much higher highs like this, where it became like a 6.72 risk reward ratio to the upside. And we've been like pushing it since then. Right, I'm still holding that position, but I haven't really closed it. I'm just gonna hold it till like this target is met. There's no reason to be closing it. Like just because we're making a swing high over here is not gonna change the fact that we're way above previous resistances, and they're gonna act as support now when you're pulling back right here. Hopefully that helps in terms of the market structure standpoint. So we may be printing like a down candle right now, but tomorrow we could be printing like a massive up candle where you could come back down to like retest this for support and then eventually just like punching back up and going higher to create a new high in the market. Make sense? Good. But my targets for Ethereum are new all-time highs this month, which would mean I'm not going to delete this. It's too valuable. Basically, going to 4,800. That's another Byto ETF. Byto ETF is the way you would play it on options. Byto. Come on, why is it not opening? The hell is going on? Mm-hmm. Right, there it is. So if Ethereum goes to new high, that would mean Byto ETF goes for this high, 33.79. But I would rather take a position in Mara, where Mara can really push to this high here, 83. I don't think it's gonna hit 83 this month, maybe next month, but this is like a classic breakout happening on Mara, where this is like a ABC correction, just went above the way below high, and that's happening after the market has punched one, two, three, four, five, like that. It's a very clean elite wave structure where you had the ABC correction, and then you're punching back up again at 29. So the next punch up is going to be to new all-time highs at 83 on Mara. That's another 200% up from this level. So you gotta respect that. I think it should be good. Hmm. 88 is coming down. Oof. Hmm. Bum. My fucking towel. I think everything's coming down now. There's a pullback happening. Good. Yeah, if that's what you want to do for like on the all-time high top in January. I think February would be a longer term play in that case. Hey. Oh, look at that. One of the reasons why Ethereum is coming down is because it has a gap up. Something doesn't make sense. Now it's beginning to make sense. Because this gap is not just a weekly gap. It's like a monthly gap too, which is causing price to retrace a little bit. But the key thing to realize here is that it's like this, right? Like that, right? So the midpoint at about 3,700, that would be a key SR level to look into, which is right about here, where the price is setting at right now, where we just bounced from. Sneaky little fucker. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the low of the week, and we just keep pushing from here. Because that gap which I'm talking about on Ethereum, on the CME futures, you don't need to come and fill it out fully. Think of it like a breakaway gap, where the market just like gapped up on the weekend. It's gonna do like a little bit of a gap fill and then be on its way to tap the highs over here in vicious force. And the other thing to notice is that ETH BTC had a very strong 2 week candle close. I think I mentioned this order block on ETH BTC last 2 weeks ago, a week ago, that the bounce which is happening on Ethereum BTC, that's the beginning of altcoin season. And I'm not surprised that ETH BTC is likely bottomed for the year, and we should have like a proper all season as ETH BTC keeps pushing higher, which would basically mean that the market dominance starts pushing higher, or BTC dominance starts dropping. BTC 3 months. Here, look at that. So, yeah, November was the start. November, December, January, February is what I would say is most likely when the all season is gonna finish. There, it filled the entire inefficiency and I think it should be ready to go down on that. It's a naughty, naughty little naughty. Naughty. So if the dominance goes down, that basically means Bitcoin could go sideways while Ethereum goes up, which means the BTC parents that they start going up. Solana is like the lazy man. I wouldn't really pay attention to it. Neither BNB. I just want to see Ethereum BTC actually go higher. Where other, like let's say if you look at ADA, see how ADA has been like really pushing. Link LTC. So the little bit of a push we got going into the close, That was LTC actually outperforming Bitcoin, and which means that the BTC pairing has to break out, which looks like that is the case right now. Now, I do think LTC BTC can come all the way back down, test this SR level, and then go back up. Yeah, it will. The whole premise of watching LTC BTC is so that you can predict what LTC USD is going to do. Sometimes what happens is that if the BTC pairings take a dump, that's because Bitcoin is going higher, and Bitcoin going higher would send the fuck. So right now, for example, Bitcoin is down at the moment, right? A little bit. But LTC BTC is not, which means that LTC USD at a net basis should be like positive on the day. But if Bitcoin goes higher, like really higher, about 4 or 5%, then that will mean denominator part, the denominator part of LTC BTC pair, that's appreciating in price, which should push the LTC BTC pair down if Bitcoin is going higher. But sometimes what happens is that while Bitcoin goes higher, it drives the USD price of other asset classes higher along with it. So even though the USD price of LTC USD might be going higher because Bitcoin is going higher, but it's not going to go as much as Bitcoin because LTC by itself is not actually appreciating against Bitcoin pair. Look, that's so cute. The moment I mention it could be bottomed, it starts bouncing. You know what's funny? Bitcoin hit 100K twice on the futures chart. See the first print? That's 100,170. Then the second print, it took out the high of the 100,170, but Bitcoin has not hit all-time highs on the spot exchanges. It has not even gone above 98, 99K on Coinbase or whatnot, which is what most people look at. But the CME futures are like, oh, we're already like hitting 100K twice in the past week or so. Matthew's here. How are you, Matthew? That's little Freddy. Freddy's like, stop listening to Rex live stream. Pay attention to me. That's good to know. That's good to know. I was just telling everybody here to go super, super long on Litecoin. That it's one of the trade setups which is going to be making your career in crypto, as it's going to go for like a run up to $420. It may not happen like in a month, but it may take like 2, 3 months to get till there. But it's pretty much the same setup which I have taken in the past with Bitcoin. That was back in here during the COVID crash. The same percentage gain, 315%. The risk reward ratio was like 9.47. And that's exactly the risk reward ratio I'm seeing on Litecoin when I took the entry at about 97, taking it all the way to like 420. Now, I also mentioned to the group where Litecoin is behaving similarly to XRP, where if you compare XRP with Litecoin, the cyclical structures are the same, where this top was printed over here in 2018, the bottom in 2020, right there, and this top 2021, that's the top right there, 2021. This bottom, June 2022, this bottom is like same month, May or June 2022. July is the top here. That's the top here in July. This bottom is July 2024. That's also July 2024. So now is the time to like really start breaking it out because XRP is going for its January 2018 high, which should be right there, 2018 high on Litecoin. Sounds good. I gave it like a very brief synopsis of what I discussed. And then I was going over the market structure for Ethereum, where I discussed how the market structure has been shifting bullish for a while now, but I emphasized the fact that you need to have these ranges marked out. Let's take this out. So the ranges were drawn from this top. From this top to this bottom. That's the range high, range low, the maximum range high and range low. Then you have like the mid range, the 25%, and the 75%. And then between the red levels, you draw another sub range between them. Their own 50%, 25%, and 75%. Do it for all of them. And then as you go deeper, you will see how these sub-range levels have been key areas of SR levels. Now, because we are above this sub-range of 25%, it's almost given that you're going to go for this high at the 25% max range level. The moment you go to that high, that will signal that you're going to go for this high. So it's a done deal that it's going to go to like 4,100. No questions asked. Just straight up. Which is one of the reasons I've been running the long position on Ethereum for a while now. And I also discussed live on the live stream that this could be like a bottom for the week on Ethereum. That was derived from Ethereum CME futures, where you had a gap up. This was the last weekly candles close. Current weekly candles open. It's not just a regular gap up, it's a monthly gap up because we're opening the new monthly candle. So when you open the new monthly candle and you have a gap up, the first thing you got to do is like mark out the new open on the previous close, which was, I think, right there. Yeah, this was the previous close on the daily chart. That's where the market closed, and that's where the market opened in red. And you take the midpoint. The midpoint came in about 3703. So that's the level we hit right now while pulling back. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to go all the way down to fill this entire gap. It can just be bottoming it over here, as it has filled some of the gap and it should be getting ready to blast off. So when this drop was happening, the level I marked on the CME chart was pretty much this level right here, 3650, and it should be fine for it to start punching up again. Except he does not even give two shits. He's like, I'm not even going to pull back while the other rest of the market pulls back. And I go, yeah, I probably should not say the curse words when the baby's with you. Like, I think I learned this when I was visiting Jeff because his girls are little. Like, it's a force of habit that whenever I'm talking, that I it just like flows naturally when you're talking at work. When you're talking about stuff that profanity just comes into it when you're trying to like emphasize something. So Jeff was, you gotta be mindful when you're around the girls. You should not be just like saying the F words or like the S words and all that. But sometimes it just like comes out when I'm talking to Jeff, and his eyes just like start popping out. I was like talking to him in person. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to put some control on that. I guess that's the process of becoming an uncle. Uncle, like you're gonna have like nephews and nieces, which are like little. They would be demanding some kind of attention in terms of what kind of words you speak in front of them. Yeah, I understand. Don't worry, I'll teach him someday. How's that? Yeah, he'll learn a lot of things. Some you might be proud of, some you might not be proud of. So it's a two-way street. Okay. Okay, I think Ethereum is pretty much ready to send. Should be making a new high this week. When you look at the 2, 3 week and weekly candle closes, you have proper expansion unfolding this week because you have everything opening, which is like new monthly candle, new weekly candle, new 2 week candle, new 3 week candle. They're all opening at the same time. So wherever bottom gets printed, you will be looking at a massive, massive bottom being printed if this turns out to be the bottom tonight, where the weekly candle low being set would mean that the 2 week candle low gets set, which would also mean that the 3 week candle low gets set, which could also mean that the monthly candle low gets set. Okay, so whatever expansion happens from here, it's the lowest of the low you're gonna get for like a month or two. So you gotta be on the go time frame, which is one of the reasons I did the entire portfolio shuffling, which I mentioned in the crypto discussion section. That you got to be positioned in the market before the December month kicks in. Because I was looking at the monthly candle closes, and the monthly candle closes were like insanely bullish. And especially when you're looking at this kind of a monthly candle, you have to assume the next, the next monthly candle is going to be expanding to the upside. I'm more so looking forward for Litecoin, where I think this will be like one of the king makers. It's going to be the last of the last legacy tokens which is going to run, and it has more punch to it. And then there is XRP, which has already done quite a bit of a run up. I mean, I still can't believe that people have been holding XRP since like 2018, and they're like coming on social media posting, "I'm finally getting break even. It's been 5 years, but I'm getting break even." Oh my God, that's hilarious to think that you've been holding this thing for like 6 years, only to see yourself get break even in 6 years. I mean, you could have like averaged down on this thing in the past 6 years when it hit like 16 cents or something, instead of claiming that when it comes to like $2, I'm gonna get break even. You could be getting break even right here at like 70 cents if we were like averaging down, but they just like held it for the past 6 years only at the top part, which is the $2.2 mark, and never averaged down. Be like, I'm just gonna hold till like it gets to break even. I'm never averaging down. But in terms of the elite wave structure, I discussed that XRP is printing like a macro wave 5 now. Like it's the next cyclical wave, the larger cyclical wave. The first cycle started in 2014, a little bit of a pump. That's the first wave. Then the bear market ensued between 2014 and 2015. And the larger bull market, where everybody started flowing into crypto, happened in 2017. That's when we entered the market as well. And then it has been consolidating for like 6 years, give or take. It's finally breaking out of the 6 year consolidation. So it's not going to stop anytime soon. It's going to push up pretty strongly. I'm thinking the push is going to go to like $15 for this cycle. Anything above $15 is like a bonus. So even from here, even though those retards which are just getting break even, if they sell at break even, they're gonna like start buying it when it has set $15, and then the market's gonna collapse from there for $15, and they will be like long-term holders for like the next 10 years until the market comes back to like the $15 mark after 10 years. So it's just like a vicious cycle the XRP army is gonna be stuck in. But yeah, the key thing to realize here is that the macro fifth wave, when it finishes, however strong it might be, you will be starting a very, very large correction to the downside, where XRP may look like it's just dead for real and it's never returning, only for you to consider that, okay, well, this was just like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up as a first wave, and then it gets like really dead, where like you just collapse and you bring it down to like 16 cents or 17 cents, and everybody just like gives up on the market, only to see that the next third wave is going to start for like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, where it may take it up to like $100 or like $300 mark, when like Bitcoin is going for like a $7 million mark, that kind of a thing. So yeah, this it's comedy in general for like XRP token. I can't say that I profited a lot from this XRP push. I only traded in like waves. Like this was the first initial wave I traded, and then the second initial wave. But I did not profit from like this entire push from the bottom. But I'm beginning to realize that you whatever pullback does happen, you gotta buy that pullback and go take it up to like $10, $15 mark, which would be the fifth wave top, the macro fifth wave top. Sounds good. I think I covered the state of the markets pretty well so far on in terms of how crypto should go. Wish that I could let you know. No, I'm not interested. I think it's too much bandwidth for one night to go into equities as well. It will take like another session by itself to discuss equities. Okay, I'm gonna hang it up. I've recorded the session, so if you miss parts of it, you can go back and listen to the initial portion of the meeting. I will catch you guys during the week. Let's go and kill it this week, I would say. It's the Santa Rally time. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night.